This accident showed the critical importance of a worldwide standard when we're talking about technologies, particularly predictive technologies, so that all the pilots respond the same way, and that way you don't have unexpected results like we got here.
An Airbus 330 enters thunderstorms within 6 miles above the Atlantic, then vanishes into the night.
Did it all start with a lightning strike?
A Boeing 737 shatters as it slams down short of the runway.
We were hanging out in the air and then we dropped.
G-forces tear at an out-of-control Boeing 747, nosediving toward the Pacific.
Everybody's face was just kind of pulled back. There's no way we're going to survive this.
When pilots are too reliant on automation, the results can be catastrophic.
We have lost an aircraft with 228 people on board.
True-to-life animations reveal the critical moments that lead to disaster. Flying through turbulent weather, Air France Flight 447 disappears into the night. What happens is a mystery that will span years and the very depths of the Atlantic Ocean. May 31st, 2009. Air France Flight 447 takes off at night from Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. The Airbus 330, carrying 228 passengers and crew, is scheduled to arrive the next morning in Paris, France. Planes flying this route traverse an enormous distance across the Atlantic Ocean.
There's a point where, during this transoceanic flight, radar coverage is non-existent. And it's incumbent upon the pilots to perform at certain checkpoints.
About 3 hours into the flight, the pilots check in at Intol Point. It will be the last verbal contact made by Flight 447. The plane hits moderate turbulence as it passes through an area known as the Intertropical Convergence Zone. Here, winds from the northern and southern hemispheres collide and can produce severe storms. About 30 minutes later, the flight is expected to show up in Senegal's airspace. But the crew doesn't check in with Senegal's air traffic controllers. Air France 447 is missing. In the light of day, an aerial search team is deployed. They scour miles around the plane's last known position.
Is this plane on top of the water somewhere? Are people alive?
But by early afternoon, officials with Air France and the French government presume that the airplane is lost to the sea.
This is a catastrophe, undoubtedly. And we have lost an aircraft with 228 people on board.
If there is any doubt about the fate of Flight 447, 5 days later, grim discoveries confirm it. Bodies, boarding passes, and small pieces of a plane are found floating on the surface of the ocean. The next day, the first major piece of wreckage is found, the vertical stabilizer. But there are still more questions than answers about what downed the Airbus 330.
Evidence of an in-flight breakup. Did it all start with a lightning strike?
Investigators will need to locate the main fuselage and along with it the flight recorders. These brightly colored orange devices, commonly known as black boxes, are equipped with water-activated acoustic locator beacons, or pingers, that remain active for 30 days.
This is the pinger. This is what we're looking for. In the middle of the Atlantic Ocean.
But 30 days comes and goes, and the flight recorders haven't been found. Without the information they contain, the investigation into the cause of the crash is at a standstill. After nearly a year of searching underwater, French investigators turn to the world leaders in ocean exploration for help, the Massachusetts-based Woods Hole Oceanographic Institution. For the scientists there, this isn't the first time they've searched the bottom of the Atlantic for an ill-fated passenger vessel.
We're the people that found the Titanic, and it was through a collaboration with the French, and here we are again. So in many ways, it is history repeating itself.
But trying to find Air France 447 will be daunting. The plane is believed to be lost in one of the most mysterious and hard-to-reach places on Earth.
Right in the middle of the oceans, there's a mountain range. It's the greatest mountain range on Earth. It's called the Mid-Ocean Ridge. It's 50,000 miles long, and it winds around the Earth like the seams of a baseball. Mostly unexplored, but some of the most incredible dramatic topography on Earth.
There, the average depth of the ocean stretches for 2 miles.
If you're looking for the black boxes, it's akin to looking for something the size of a shoebox in the Rocky Mountains at night with a flashlight, having no maps of the area. It's like finding the needle in the haystack. But first you've got to find the haystack.
The search area was sort of defined as a 40-mile radius circle around that last known position, and that's a very big area. If you draw that circle in the middle of New England, includes Massachusetts, Vermont, New Hampshire, Rhode Island, and Connecticut.
So we needed to narrow that down, and what we asked the modelers to do, the people that understood wind and waves and floating things, was get us in the right haystack, and then we'll take it from there.
The team launches 3 autonomous underwater vehicles to comb the ocean floor.
Looking at the Remus 6000 vehicle right now, and one of our primary sensors is side scan sonar. We will swim almost 10 miles in one direction, and the vehicle every second will be sending out a ping and tie all those pings together, and we get a pretty good map of what's on the seafloor.
In a heartbeat, you could miss a plane on the bottom, and that would have been less than a minute's worth of data.
After finishing a month-long expedition at sea, the team comes up empty-handed.
It was the wrong haystack. We're confident that given enough time and resources that we would find the plane.
Nearly a year later, and with a new haystack identified, they set out for their second expedition. Within the first week, a promising lead. They find something on sonar 2.5 miles down.
A smudge on the seafloor that didn't look like it belonged there. It's about 200 meters wide, 600 meters long.
We got the vehicles back on board. We reprogrammed one to go back to that site and use our cameras to take pictures over the site.
There was no doubt when those first images came back that was the aircraft. There were the landing gear, the engines, and other bits of the aircraft. There were bodies still on the seafloor, which was not something we were prepared for. It's not something that we thought could ever happen, that years afterwards there'd still be human remains on the seafloor. The whole emotional part of this expedition just